Hello, my name is Jessie and look at this guys. I'm making my favorite dish today, which is a Pad Kee Mao, also known as drunken noodles. And these are the ingredients that you would need for today's dish. And yes, the plant is part of the ingredients too. We also have them listed below in the description box as well. Let's start with the very few ingredients that we need to prep. Basil is one of the main ingredients that would bring the dish to the Pad Kee Mao. And traditionally they would use holly basil, but it's almost impossible for me to find it where I'm at. So the next best thing is sweet basil. A lot of people would also use Thai basil, but the sweet basil actually has a closer taste to the holly basil that traditionally would be used. And we would need about half a cup of basil, so it's very basil heavy. So now I'm gonna wash these basils. Okay, next let's cut our peppers. These are just mainly for color because this dish is supposed to be very spicy, but I can't handle this many red color if I use it all as like the spicy chili. So I'm using this color just pretty much for look. So if you don't have red color sweet pepper or red color bell pepper, just use what you have at home. And in this video, I'm showing you exactly the real life of my fridge. A lot of them are pre-chopped and prepped in the fridge because that's what I do when I get home from the grocery store. So the pork choy was already prepped and cut in my fridge. These jalapeños, I cut a whole bunch because the other day when I made pho, I needed some jalapeno. While at it, I just cut a whole bunch. So that's why I have that. These jalapenos are so mild that they taste like bell pepper. So if you have green bell pepper, go for it. The bok choy could be swapped in and out, meaning you could use any other veggies that you want or have in your fridge. Broccolinis would do very well in here. The Chinese broccoli, the kailan, is really good too. And then these, since I'm chopping, I'm just gonna chop them all now and have it ready for later. This dish is one of my favorite dishes. Literally every time when I go to a Thai restaurant, I would order this Pad Kee Mao. And it's also known as drunken noodles. For the protein, same thing, you can substitute it with any protein you like. I just happen to have some pre-sliced pork chop that Calvin chopped a whole bunch for me when last time we made some caramelized catfish. So when I had him cut, he just cut a whole bunch and we just have it ready for the next meal. And that's how I food prep my food. If I have to cut something, just do a little bit extra. And for the basil, don't cut it too small. You want it to have some like bite into it. So that's about a cup. Next, we're gonna prep the starter of the stir fried, and you could use the food processor for this. I usually use a food processor, but I'm taking this out just for you guys because traditionally this is how they do it. When you pound it, the flavor is stronger, and that's why it's spicier. So in here, I have 5 cloves of garlic, 3 really spicy Thai chili. This dish is supposed to be very spicy, but if you can handle it or you want less heat, you're more than welcome to cut back on the heat. And I usually cover it like this just so the seed won't accidentally fly into my eyes or my face. Ask me how I know that. And you don't want a paste, you want a rough paste. Oh, it's so spicy and good. It's a good spicy casting. This is the rough paste. I'm gonna put it very far away from it. It's spicy. Okay. Next, we're gonna make the stir fry sauce. For any stir fry, you wanna have everything ready because the minute you start cooking, everything happens so quickly. So I usually have everything ready. So in this cup, I have a 1/4 cup of chicken broth. This is homemade chicken broth. Because I'll be using my palm sugar, I would put this in the microwave for 30 seconds so the broth can get warm and dissolve my sugar better. That way I wouldn't have to stand here for 5 minutes to try to mix the sugar until it's dissolved. This is palm sugar, but you could use regular sugar. 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of fish sauce, half a tablespoon of dark soy sauce. Alright, so now we're just gonna mix it up until everything is combined. The dark soy sauce, if you don't have it, you can skip it. It's mostly just to give you that color, you know, from the stir fry that you always get from the restaurant, that dark, deep color on the noodles. But I know sometimes it's kind of hard to get unless you're at an Asian grocery store. So now our stir fry sauce is done, and just that little 30-second in the microwave make everything mix so well together so quickly. Because at home we don't have that big fire that you would have like the restaurants would. So I usually would pre-marinate all my components so I could work on it quickly without having my noodles become so soggy or broken apart. So in this stir fry sauce, I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of it in the meat to marinate the meat, because I wanted to marinate every step of the way, and 2 tablespoons into the noodles. That way the noodles would be all evenly coated instead of you trying to do it in the wok, and it would be overcooked and become all soggy or broken apart. And this fresh noodle I bought 5 days ago, but because I prepped it correctly in the fridge for this dish, because I knew I would be making this dish, it's still very, very good instead of being all broken or moldy. So, but it's very crumbly at this stage because we just took it out of the fridge. So be very gentle with it. The minute it hit the hot wok, it would be juicy and, you know, doughy and springy and all that yumminess. And then now I'm gonna mix this meat. Now that everything is ready, we can start cooking. Okay, I have my wok on high heat and we're gonna preheat it very, very hot. And here I'm gonna add about 1 tablespoon of oil. I'm using pork belly today, so I don't need that much oil, but if you use something leaner like turkey, ground turkey, or chicken breast, add a little bit more. So we're gonna add that chili and garlic paste that we made earlier in this hot oil to infuse this oil to become very garlicky and spicy. Be very careful because the minute this hit the oil, the fume would be very, very strong and you might cough. I'm like standing very far away from it because just when it's about to, you can smell it and start to cough. That's when it's ready. Now we're gonna add in our meat, which is the pork belly. That's when you know it's good. Now we're gonna put in more chili. The jalapeno. And now the bok choy. The leftover seasoning from the pork earlier, I'm gonna add in here because we just add the pork choy in. Oh my goodness, smells so good and spicy. And now it's watering. Oh my god, my mouth is like. This is like my favorite dish. Not so much for Calvin. He doesn't like anything with very white noodles. So every time we go to the Thai restaurant, I order one and just eat it myself. and bring it home and eat the next day. But he likes it when I make it home because I think because I put a lot of meat in it. Alright, now the sweet pepper. Okay, when your vegetable is about al dente, the meat is pretty much 90% cooked. This is when we add in our noodles. I'm making a well just so the noodles can come in contact with the wok right away and get you that char, the wok hay. Okay, and you just add right in. At this stage, because the noodles is not it's still cold, so be very gentle. The minute it's heat up, it would give you that chewy texture, but right now, not yet. So be very gentle with it. Kind of just, Now we're gonna add the remaining of the stir-fry sauce. I add on the edge like this. Now we just mix it together. See now, after being with the heat, the noodles has become easier to work with. But don't overcook this, otherwise the noodles would mush. Alright, now we're gonna turn off the heat. Make sure you turn it off. And then add our basil in. We're just gonna wilt the basil with the residual heat in the pan. Otherwise, it would be overcooked. Can we skip plating and just eat? Oh my goodness, this is my favorite dish, and I've been craving for it. Oh, do you see the noodles? Look at this. It's not like broken. Oh my god. The spiciness is spicy, but not so much that you can't handle. So good. Okay, we're gonna plate so I can eat. The only thing I could jazz it up is add a little basil on it. Wow, look at this, guys. Isn't it gorgeous? Now it's your turn to make it at home.
Okay guys, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button and come back next week for our weekly updates. See you then.